What is up, people? This your boy DJ, and just want to get this out the way. This video I'm doing right now, it's about a Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. It's not really a review of the game per se, just some ideas I had surrounding the game after I played it a little bit. Now, just to get this out the way, of course, I grew up watching the show, love Power Rangers to death. Not too long ago, I saw a trailer of some sort, and it also had Jason David Frank reprising his role as Tommy Oliver, but like an evil version, you know, the antagonist of the game, Lord Draken, and it was dope as shit. It was tight, and of course, before I go any further, R.I.P. Jason David Frank. The dude was a legend, one of the many legends I had growing up, but yeah, he will be missed. But I love Power Rangers. Power Rangers with the shit. I grew up watching from the original, of course, being I'm like 38 this year. I grew up watching that show from the beginning, and I think I've watched it. Well, the shows I've actually watched were from the original all the way up to Lost Galaxy, and that's when I went to the military shortly during that time. But yeah. I watched a great deal. I know a lot of series teams came out, or shows, Power Rangers shows came out after Lost Galaxy, but they're cool too. You know, the Power Rangers always have their little themes and stuff. You got Pirate Rangers, Cop Rangers, Wizard Rangers, Animal Rangers, so on and so forth, right? But yeah. Well, back to the whole Lord Draken thing and the story behind this game. Well, what caught me about this game is that it was an adaptation of a comic line, and I didn't even know Power Rangers had a comic, but it was a comic line that Boom Studios did published, and it followed the Power Rangers, but it was more of a darker, edgier storyline, and it featured it's called Shattered Grid, and it featured like, you know, an evil version of Tommy Oliver. But this version of Tommy Oliver, of course, he ended up beating, long story short, beat his Rangers in his world. Ended up stealing the powers of the power of the White Ranger coin and merged with the Green Ranger coin, fusing them both and redubbing himself Lord Draken. You know, when it comes to multiverse stories, they're always going to be cool. Just look at Dark Knight's Metal with the DC Universe and Batman, all that shit. And then, of course, the Spider-Verse stuff with Spider-Man and Marvel Comics, all that stuff. Have seen multiple different alternate versions of your favorite characters will always be a plus in my book. Yeah, getting into the game, I played the game, and like I said before, this isn't a review of the game, and I know that I did my research. I know this game has a big following when it comes to the FGC, but to me, as a Power Rangers fan, fan of the show, whatever, I think the game, just due to the format it's in, being that it's a fighting game, is not capable of taking full advantage of the content made available by the comic, right? So the main thing is the roster, right? Like, I mean, I love fighting games dead, but they're just some media franchises or whatever that, yeah, there may be fighting in them, but it just doesn't work too well, right? So, like, for example, like I said, the biggest thing is the roster. And you look at the roster, I got the picture up, but if you notice, you're not going to be able to fit everyone's favorite Ranger in there. In fact, I'm going to say this, a good example of this is, the amount of the amount of Red Rangers. And of course, one of my favorite episodes back in the day was the Lost Galaxy episode called Forever Red, Power Rangers Forever Red. Well, it wasn't Lost Galaxy, it was Wild Force. My apologies, but yeah. If you at that time, I forget the number, but if we include every Red Ranger from the original Power Rangers all the way up to the latest iteration, I think is Megaforce. I believe, and this is just the main teams, none of the evil teams or no special rangers that happen to be red, colored red. That's 19 different Red Rangers, right? And the roster for Power Rangers Battle for the Grid, I believe, is 23 characters total. I could be wrong, plus minus a little bit, but I think it's around that. It's a little over 20. But like I said, 20 character slots to 19 character slots for 19 Red Rangers. Like, and everyone has their favorite ranger. You're not gonna be able to put them in. And this is just Red Rangers. This isn't all the Rangers. We're not even including bad guys or special rangers, just the Rangers themselves. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just not enough. Like, I feel like this game would do so much more if, of course, they adapted it into more of an action adventure type game. For example, something like, how the Marvel Avengers and or the Gotham Knight game, yeah, they both suck, but just the format that it's in, you could have the Rangers, the different locales that you go to, like Angel Grove and Angel Grove City, whatever. Then you have Terra Venture, blah blah. Every team of Rangers, season of Rangers have their own locales that they have, their own hub worlds or whatever, command centers, this and that. They have their own villains. Like, they could make it into that format, and if they did it that way, that would be cool. You'll be able to take more advantage of the content within the franchise. Also, you could go even a step further by making, of course, customization is always cool. Like, for instance, a good example of this would be like I said before, making an action adventure title, right? But since it's a multiversal event, the Shattered Grid event is multiversal. This is Lord Draken going around killing other Rangers and stealing their powers for himself. Your character could literally be, and to make the story make even better sense, you could be a Megaforce Ranger. And one thing that makes this work with you being a Megaforce Ranger is that the Megaforce Rangers had the ability to take on the powers of other Power Rangers that are been a part of the Morphin Grid, right? So in that way, your character being able to take on the abilities of they could work that into like some RPG system where you can unlock different Ranger abilities from across the different teams throughout the franchise. And then, of course, with the Megaforce Rangers, they could up it up a notch, whatever, make it so that you could be like their Sixth Ranger, which is the Silver Megaforce Ranger, or was it Titanium? I forget, but he had the abilities. His morpher allowed him to take on the powers and abilities of every Sixth Ranger, so he could use like the Quantum Ranger stuff, Blue Lunar Wolf stuff, Green Ranger, White Ranger, Gold Ranger, so on and so forth. Every Sixth Ranger that's ever been, he could use all their powers. So you could essentially upgrade your character to do that during the game after like some special secret mission or something. But that just, something that just came off the top of my head. And that could like utilize have your character meet and team up and do battles with the other Rangers from across the franchise. And y'all could do battle against Lord Draken and the other evil forces of the Power Rangers franchise. And also, you could include other Rangers, the allies of the Rangers, like Ninjor. He plays an integral part of the story. Who else? Blue Centaurian, Magna Defender. The Phantom Ranger, all those guys. You could have them all in there. All these kids, there's so many characters part of the franchise. Shit, you can even throw in the other Saban characters like a Mass Rider, VR Troopers, Big Bad Beetleborgs. In fact, the Big Bad Beetleborgs kind of, I mean, they technically weren't in the show, but their costumes were for that Forever Red episode. They were on the bad guy team. And then at some point in time, I think the Lost Galaxy Rangers, or was it Wow? I think it was Lost Galaxy. They teamed up with the Ninja Turtles at one point. But yeah, that's just going on. I didn't want to make this video too long. I just want to get my thoughts out about the game and how they could take that further, because it just sucks to see. Again, this isn't a jab at Battle for the Grid. Just the story that's being adapted could go so much further. And it sucks to see it just sit, because I know after this game, like this game been out for quite some time, no one's looking at Power Rangers like that, especially into making it into a different type of game. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on that. Let me know what you think. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe. And I got some more stuff down the line. Thank you, and y'all, peace out.